So, and we also gave, I also gave, I gave an assignment yesterday, which was nice. Because I actually liked what you did. Okay, it's clear that you understood what we did. We also talked about variables yesterday. Okay, um, that was one part of variables. That's one part of integers, variables, integers, then strings. Now, today we're also going to talk about, we are going to talk about integers today. I think I told you we are going to talk about integers, then we're going to move to inputs today. So basically, basically, what are integers? Integers are whole numbers. Like in computer, there's maths too. They also plot maths like the way you, well, it's quite different from the way you want to solve maths in real life, but it's quite the same thing. You understand? Because when you are dealing with logic, when you're dealing with numbers, it's the same way. There is multiplications, there's addition, there's subtraction, there is what else? Subtractions. Yes, in integers. We are going to talk about all of them today. Okay. I was trying something out, so that's why I think I wrote this. Okay. Now, if you are dividing, for example, we'll start from division, or we'll start from uh, assigning numbers to variables. Yeah, yesterday we talked about assigning strings, text to variables. Okay, so assuming I want to assign age, age is an integer, is also a number, a whole number. Okay, so I can call the variable, this is the variable name now. Okay, now remember, text and strings always go with a semicolon, which is this that we talked about. Okay, this is how you know, this is how you know a variable is a string or an integer. Now, with the semicolon, okay, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is a string, and these are numbers. Sometimes, like I said yesterday, we can actually assign numbers to strings. A string can come in as, sorry, a number can come in as a string. For example, I am saving a price, maybe the price of a commodity. It's 5. Now, since it's coming as a string, we are also going to treat it as a string. We're going to still treat it as a string. We are not going to treat it as number because it's coming as a string. Okay. Maybe when we get to APIs and all of those stuff, yeah, when we are dealing with, you see more of these things when we are dealing with APIs, we are calling APIs. Some of those APIs, they come with, most of those numbers come with strings. They don't come with integers. They don't come with full integer values. They come with strings value. Okay, so like I said, we don't actually need we don't need semicolons in integer because it's a number. We're dealing with numbers. Okay, I can say age 66 or 60 years. All right, this 60. Now, if I am printing this out, I will just call the age. It's going to print it's going to print 60 out, but it already knows that this is an integer value. Now we already assigned a number to this integer value. Okay, Python already knows that this is an integer value. So, oh, okay. Wait, peace, you can see me, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
How about now?
I can still see you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so now we've assigned a number to this variable called age. Now we can extend by also calling score, can be scores of students. let's say 80, right? 80 was the score of all students. I can we will extend later on by adding maybe average of different schools. Not clear.
So if can actually put anything,
Yes, any number, any number. Yes, you can put any number there. It can be 70. Yes, you can put anything there. Yes, yes. Yes, a variable. Exactly. Yes, exactly. 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 Because now it's a variable. A variable can be any name you give to that variable. That's what you are going to call later. If we are calling T, for example, okay, uh, okay, if we are calling this, we are saying this is actually a variable, for example, it's the same thing we are going to call here. You can see that there's already an error here because print does not really know what we are talking about because age is not defined in our code block. So it's not going to see it that, okay, this is actually a defined structure. No, it's not going to see it. So we're going to refer this to him. Sorry. Where did I go to? Okay. Okay, so our code is correct now because him is actually defined, but we're not using that. Again, back to age. Now, yes, age is a variable. Okay, so we've assigned age, we've assigned a number to age. Now we've also assigned a number to score to, okay, we said 80 is the number of score. Now I can go ahead and say um score, I can call the score inside the same block. It's probably going to print all of them together. Now it's going to print all of them together. Okay. Now we've established two things. We established um assigning a number, a whole value to which is an integer to a variable. Okay, like we did yesterday. You can see that now there's no what's it called? There's no semicolon. Okay, there's no semicolon. But watch this. If it's going to do the same thing, actually it did the same thing. Okay, but we already know that this is wrong, honestly. It's not like it's wrong. Okay, but since right now we are already treating this itself, which is 80 as a string, we're not treating it as a number anymore. So even if we're writing a code block to this score, we are not going to treat it as a number. We're only going to treat it as a string. Okay, like we've talked about yesterday. So I'm just going to go back to um okay, now we're going to advance, we're going to add more code block to what we've done so far. We've already established the fact that we can assign a number to a variable. A variable can be called any name. I can call it this, anything I want to call it. Yeah, like we talked about yesterday. And I'm going to print that out. So a variable is not limited, except the variable is a function already in Python. Okay, there are functions or there are words Python respect so much, like while. You can't use this in Python because it's a function in Python. It means it's a function that Python itself respects. It's a built-in function. So you can't use any built-in function in Python. Also, for these are all looped. They are called looping in Python. Python respect all these. You can't use them as a variable. Same as print, all of these, you can use them. Okay. Do while loop. I think it's do while loop. Okay. I think it's actually do while loop there, bro. But there are a lot of functions in Python that we cannot really do. We cannot use. We cannot use list. There are very plenty. We'll look at all of them. You understand? When we are dealing with variable are common names you can actually like think about. Okay, they can actually store to that variable. You understand? So, but right now we're going to use for example, we have this is a class. Okay, we are going to take this class for example, and we have 50 students. Okay, students. Let's say 20 students. Okay, score 100 students. Now we have students, we have scores. Let's assume that in this class right now, there are 20 students and the score of a test is about 100. Okay. Now, like I said, there's also mathematics in programming. We are going to talk about all of them today, maths, concepts, in programming. We're going to talk about um, we're going to talk about subtraction, we're going to talk about multiplication, addition, and division today. Okay. So now just imagine I want to take the average number. If you watch, I did something here. Average number. There's a underscore here. Okay. Because now I cannot do this. You can see that there's a space. Python does not really know what you're talking about. It cannot know. When you are giving a variable name, if you want to say, if you want to join two words together, you are going to add either a dash or an underscore. Depends on what you want to. Okay, but it goes well with it's always go well with this. Okay, when you are saving your variable or when you are storing your variable. Okay, so now the average number, um, let's say the average score, let's say the average score was 70. 70. Now, already we have 70 students and 20 students. Score is 100. Their average score is 70. Now, what can we do now? We can just say, okay, how many students? How many students pass a particular test? Or how many students got up to 70 in a particular test? Okay, okay. I think it's better now. The noise, yeah. Okay, so now we said we have 20 students, okay, and score is 100. We have average score 70. What we can do, we can multiply. Okay, we can multiply students by average score. We're also going to have total score. We're going to have total score. Okay, let me just so you get to understand. Okay, now we have students, which is 20. We can also increase this number of students we want to calculate for. Okay, we have scores. which is 100. We have average score, which is 70. So the average score for all students to actually like make a particular to pass a particular course is 70. Okay. Now we have the total score. We're only going to like calculate the total score, which is going to be equals students. We're going to call the students. How many students do we have? 20 students. We're going to times it by the average. Okay, we're going to times it by the average. Now, if I am okay, after timesing by average, let's run this, then you get to see, then we can proceed from, so this is example 3. Okay, now we are printing the numbers of students, which is 20, okay, which is good. Also printing the highest score. The highest score is 100. Now also printing the average score, which is the average score here, which is 70. Okay, now the total class score is 140. Now what are we trying to achieve here? We are just trying to see how multiplication actually works in Python. Okay, now I am removing these ones so we can start again. Okay, so now we have average score. Okay, mind you, we are dealing with multiplication. You can also have uh, addition, subtraction. We are all going to see all of them. Okay, now I just want to print the numbers of students in my class. Okay, and numbers of students in my class. We already said it's 20. Now, if I run my scripts, it's going to, if I run my scripts, it's going to print, okay, numbers of students, it's 20. Now, if we want to take this further, we can also have an input to it. I think in our last class, we talked about input, but we didn't really go deep into it. But we're not going to go deep into it right now because we don't want to actually ask, take an input, make our script take an input. Okay, so what we are just going to do, we're just going to have the print, ask the question, numbers of students. Okay, then it's going to print the numbers of students. Now we already know the numbers of students we have, which is 20. We're also going to print the numbers of, okay, print the score. Um, okay, let's give it highest score. Remember, there are two ways to actually write this. I think we talked about it yesterday. There are two ways to write this. The other one, if you remember vividly, it was this, Abby. Yeah, I think there's somebody in the class. Oh, please, I think there's somebody in the class.
Yes, I want to check it now.
All right.
Oh, yes, we have one person.
Okay, so remember we talked about this. Okay, and we can also do it inside here, which is score. You remember? Okay, exactly. Now it's either we get to do it like this, we get to write print out like this, or we use the F string. We call it F string in Python. The F string. Okay, that's what it's called in Python, F string. I think we're just going to go with this. All right, we're going to go with this. Okay, now we'll print the highest score. The highest score. Now, if we want to know, okay, how many persons actually got the highest score, we can actually do that too in Python. Okay, that'll probably be later on. Okay, so now we're just going to start all over. Then you can start copying. Okay, so yeah, you can start implementing. Now this is example 3. All right. You've created your, you just created it now. Okay. Okay. Now we're just going to assign a number to students. I think, sorry, hold on. I think somebody's okay.
So Alex, we can't hear you. I don't know, is it just me?
We are assigning 20 students to we are assigning 20 students to our variable students here. We can also increase the number. We can say 50 students. That's what we have. Okay. Let's say score. Let's give it highest score. Highest score. Highest score is 100. What's that? Not working. All right. So highest score 100. Okay. Average score is 70. Then we have total score. I want to calculate for students and average score. We just want to multiply and get our answer. Okay. We already know what the answer might be, though. Are you done? Okay. Christian, good afternoon. MSC. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I think he has left. MSC, can you hear me? Okay. Wait, please, can you hear me? They've left again. So, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I hear you, sir.
So,
Very
all right.
well.
Okay. Thank you. Are you there? Are you done? Okay, now what we are just trying to do here, we trying to see how much mathematics works in programming, especially in Python that we're dealing with. Okay, now you can see this sign here, this star sign. That's multiplication. Okay, that's what Python recognizes as multiplication. If you can also change this to this, okay, this is division, divide. This is plus, as we already know. This is minus. Okay, but we're going to treat all of them one by one. Now, we want to just basically calculate for students an average score. We want to multiply our students. We can just call this total students, or let's just give it total students. Total students. Okay, let's give it total students. The students, total students, subtract minus average score. We probably know what the answer will be. Then, since we're already calculating for this already, we're not going to call these variables anymore. We're going to call this variable, because now we've already assigned this variable and this variable to this particular variable. So there's no point in calling these two variable anymore. So we're just going to call the total. We're going to print the total out, total score. Okay, and we probably know what the answer is going to be, because now we are subtracting, we are not multiplying. So the answer is minus 20. So what did we do that we're getting minus 20 now? Student is 50, right? Average score is 70. So now if 50 minus 70, you probably get the negative value of, yes, you get a negative value because normally 50 cannot minus 70. So that's why you are seeing that. Wow, I seen that minus sign. Are you sure you can see? So that's why you see. I think you should be here. Wait, bro, is there a way you can extend? But I know it's here. Is there a way you can? Yes. Okay, so now if we use, we can, if we are, let's say we have 100 students. Now this is probably going to be 30 or oh. All right, no problem. Just all right, no problem, no problem. We can continue. Okay, okay now. But would that be okay with you? Okay. No, calm down. Yeah, yes. Okay, Ali. Okay. Now, if I print this out, okay, I told you it's going to be 30, because now total students is 100, average score is 70. Okay, now we are just minusing total student that we have minus the average score, which is going to be this number. Now, do you know that we can also increase what we have here by extending the maths? Now, if I want to do, okay, highest score, now I've extended the maths. If you observe, I am not calling the information I am giving to this variable which I'm not calling the numbers of the variable. I'm only calling the variable names. You understand? Because that's what we are doing. Okay, so I'm not calling the numbers, I'm only calling the variable. So if I print the total score, they're probably going to give me a decimal or something like that, though. Yeah, a decimal point. Okay. Now, these decimal points, we can also eliminate these decimal points. In Python, it's called floor. Floor division. That's what it's called in Python. So it's just by adding this to it, and it's going to eliminate, it's going to remove the number there. It's called floor. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, 100 minus 70, which is 30, divide by 100. Now, 30 divide 100. 30 divide 100 is going to be 1 ratio something. That's what it's going to be, though. If we are going by that fraction, it's going to be 1 ratio something. Okay, but if we want to go by decimal points, it's going to be, I mean, times 30 can be to 70. I think it's 2 times. Yeah, divide, I mean, 0 0.3. 0 0.3, right? Okay. Oh, sorry. Right. Now, okay, let me be clear. Python is actually following maths algorithm. That's what Python is actually doing. In board maths, we already know that board maths, what comes first is I think it's B brackets. Then there's off, there's D, which is division. So what Python is actually doing here is dividing first of all before subtracting. Okay, no, like for subtraction, board S, subtraction is at the later end. Don't, just chill. Don't, we understand it. No, 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 no. You see, the funny thing about programming, you don't need to be you don't need to be good in maths. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not that good in maths. I'm not that good in maths, but we already know that. Okay, even in board maths, yes, that's. But we're just trying to understand why Python is actually getting this number. You understand? That's what we are doing today. Because Python is actually following um math algorithm. That's what it's doing. So if it's actually following the math algorithm, that means it's actually dividing. Where's the average score? Okay, average score is 70. 70 divide 100. If 70 divide 100, that's 0 points. That should be 0 points. Okay, don't worry, we'll just do it here. Uh, we do it here. 0 0.7. So we're going to get 0 0.7. Now 0 0.7 times minus after 0 0.7, because now I have to remove the one we're having there. We know we're having, what's it called? We're having total student there. Okay, I removed that one because I wanted to show you, okay, why it was starting from here. After starting from here, what he now did, he now minus 0 0.7 from 100. And that's how I got that number. Yeah, so you understand. So if we are doing this right now, we want Python to actually like break everything down for us. I think we can actually do that. Okay, we can just remove this. Now it has done this. Okay, we can go further by saying last score. I'm just giving it any name right now. Last score equals what did we get? Total number. minus total students. Okay. Now we're going to print the last number. I hope you are following though. This is quite interesting, Cha. I don't know. It's really, really interesting how Python is actually calculating all of this. Yeah, see, exactly. We finally got what he was doing that time. Now, see what happened. This is the variable. Mind you, this is the variable. Total score is the variable. Okay, now we said total score equals average score divided by highest score, which average score here is 70, and highest score is 100. 70 divide 100 on a normal base, I think that should be like an improper fraction if you are looking at it, because the upper number, I think it's smaller than whatever that amount is here. But I know that should be like a proper or improper fraction, one of the two. Okay, so what it's doing, it's actually dividing 70 divide 100. Okay, now we've gotten the answer. Okay, because the answer has been saved to this total score. Now we are not saying, okay, we don't want to just print the total score like that. Okay, because before now we were doing total score minus average score divided by highest score. That's what we are doing. Now we say, okay, since Python is missing everything, Python is actually converting this first, solving this first before solving the minus sign. Okay, now, how do we know that he was actually doing that? So that's what that's what we want to figure out. You understand? So now, since the answer has been printed to this, has been saved to this total score, we can now call total score. We can now say, okay, this total score, give us what you got in before. We already know that the total score was 0.7. Now we're now saying 0.7, which is this total score, minus the total students that we were doing before, the total students. So it's just for us to call the last score, and we'll get process is very well done. Just tell me where is not clear. We'll go by it again. No. I don't like the shower. So tell me. No, see, I can go over this. Can go over this as many times you can go over today. All right. Okay. But see, this is not all we are going to be doing when it comes to um Python. But mind you, in AI development, we are going to do more of mathematical concepts, because when you are building a neural network, which is the brain of the model of the AI, how those patterns work, there are.
We are really, so we're actually going to be using
Yes, we will build our own
our
neural. Yeah, we'll build our own
own
neural.
audio.
No, we'll build our own.
Like giving out to team.
Yes, we'll build data into it. Yes, we'll build security into it. What it should not do. All those security layers, we are going to build them into it. Yes. Don't be scared. So this is where we are starting from. Like I said, we are going to move from here to chatbots. You see how chatbot actually thinks. You understand? Chatbots are basic programming. Chatbot is almost the same thing as what we are doing here right now. Something we've already implemented into it. So it's just going to give us those answers. But AI is quite different. AI is well, my PC is going down already. I don't know if that guy is free. If you can check if it's yes, in charger. Thank you. right? Okay, so okay, like I said, just let me know if this is clear enough. We're going to go over it again. You understand? Then, or do you want me to wipe this, then go over it again? All right. Okay, so now what we want to do, first of all, let's get we already have total students, highest score, average score. Okay, we want to get the total score. How do we calculate for total score? You can calculate for anything you want to calculate for, though it does not really mean. Okay, now, but for me, I want to just calculate for total score. Like, total score, which is going to be total students and the average, or divide by the average score. That's what I want to do. Okay, so now I'm going to call on that variable. I'm going to say total score equals total students divide by score, average score. Okay, I'm going to print the total score out. Okay, that's what I want to do, because now this is a variable, mind you, this is a variable. Now we've not saved anything to this variable. What we are not saving any number or anything to this variable, but what we are only saving to this variable is um the answer we get from here. That's what we are saving to this variable, and this variable already knows the answer. It already knows, okay, what we are saving to it. Yeah, because now what we are doing, we are calling total students, and we want to divide total students by average score. We are dividing the total students by average score. So that's what we want to do. So now we are going to print. I'm just going to say what is the total score. Okay. So the total score is 100. Why is it 100? Average score divide, sorry, total students divide average score, which is divide 70. Or normally that should be this 70, right? Okay. Oh, and you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. We did not print the total score. We only printed the students. That was the error. Okay, but I know that should not be the answer. Exactly. Okay. Now, this is the decimal. We don't want a decimal. We just want print. Yes, you call it a floor division. Okay. Floor, like our floor division. Yeah, it's just going to, it's one. So how many times 70 is going to go into 100? That's what it means. Okay, it's just one time. Yeah, one times made I think about 30 thereabouts or something. Okay, so that was the decimal that was after, but we don't need those decimal. We just want it to print um we just want it to print a simple whole number. You understand? That's what we did here. So if we are, for example, we are multiplying, let me just list all of them here. So we plus finance. Okay, these are all for our multiplication. This for our mathematical. Uh, Most of our maths signs we are going to be using are always going to boil down to um this this multiplication, addition, subtraction, Okay, division. Okay. All right. So most of the time, this is stuff we're going to be mainly talking about here. But as we advanced, as we advance, we are not really going to be using this a lot. We are not really going to be using what we are writing a lot. Yeah. There are other ways we are also going to be calculating for what we are going to be solving for or what we're going to be doing for. Okay, so most of the time, our programs are not really running on mathematical concepts that much. Yeah, but most of the time, they are going to be thinking outside the block. They're going to, but we are not going to be using mathematical concepts like um times multiplication, addition, and division to calculate for whoever wants to calculate for. I'm just writing this down so you know most of the stuff we are going to be for this class. Okay. Run my scripts. It's going to that's 7,000. Okay, that's 7,000. Let me check. I think there's another expense. Okay. Okay, which is 100 times 70. That's what we just did. 100 times 70. That's quite easy for us to even calculate together. But I like the way like computer gets to think sometimes. They think very, very fast. Yes, and sometimes if I run this right now, it already knows. It just prints the answer very, very fast. Yes, but sometimes humans can actually think. Okay? So that's like the core part, that's the most important part about computer, how they get to like think very, very fast. Now, for BODMAS, it's going to probably calculate this first. If we are adding um any variable, any score to this now, it's going to probably calculate this first before this because in BODMAS, what we know, BOD mass, I think so. Yeah, BODMAS. What we know off is the first, which is multiplication, division second. If we are taking, let's say, highest score, okay, you can guess the answer already. What should be the answer? Exactly. Because this, if you are multiplying this is 7,000 minus 100, this 1,900. Okay. So we are basically playing around with integers. That's what we are just doing. Basically playing around with our integers, our Python process integers. Okay. Because yesterday we talked about strings and tests. Now we're talking about integers, talking about scores. We're talking about okay how multiplication works. You understand? In now the same thing, the same thing we can actually do here. Okay, we can say instead of this IS score, do you know we can actually do this? But it's not really going to make any sense now because first of all, in programming, it's very good you define your variables. Okay, before you start using your variable. You understand? So assuming we are having this here, it's still going to work, but does not really tell well of a good programmer or a good developer. It's because 7,000 minus 5,000, 2,000 exactly. But this will not really tell well of a good programmer. You understand? Because now we can do anything, you can assign anything to that particular variable. Okay, it's just for us to call the variable in this place here. Okay, mind you, the reason why we are talking about all of this is because of integer value. We're talking about integer types. You understand? So our Python process integer. Okay, so you are going to write this first, then before we proceed to next. But let me know if it's clear enough. So then we can go back again till it's clear.
Usually I added this so I do what you do that.
Yes. You were saying when I was starting programming that day. So we already started now, but this is like just the baby part of programming. Okay. So But I'm very certain that in next 1 month we should be building our chatbots, our first model, yeah, or next 2 months or something. Or we should be building, should be core in programming. They should understand its concepts about programming, functions, looping, okay, all of those. Okay, when you are done, let me know. I want to give you a classwork, so I'll be very sure that you understand this clearly. Right. Okay, now we are going to assign any value, any number. Okay. We're going to assign any number to total students and highest score. Assign any number of your choice to them. Then you are going to multiply total score. Yeah, multiply total score by highest score. Then you're going to calculate for total score by multiplying this and this. Then you're going to print out the results.
I'm really going to move that to the
Yes,
highest score.
yes. Then get the total score. That's what you need to get. You are getting the total score by multiplying these two. Then you are printing the total score. You understand? Yes. You understand that? Sorry. Or should we say, um highest score and average score, then calculate for the total score. Score and average score, then calculate for the total score. Then print the total score. No, just take your time, don't worry.
Maybe
Exactly. But did you change your also average score and sorry, highest score and you can now if you want to. Yeah, change the number. You can use any number of your choice. Just use any number of your choice. I like how neat it is, neat and clean. Exactly. It shows that you actually understand, yes, what we are doing. Now, we did something yesterday which was strange and test. Now we want to like join both together. Okay, so now we establish um integer type. We also establish string type. You understand? So now what you're going to do, this is another class work. Okay, you're going to print out the student's name and the student's score. Remember, name is a string and score, yeah, is an integer value. We don't want to treat the score as a string value. So we want to treat it as integer value. They also add grade to it.
Then they use for
Student's name, score, and grade. Yes.
let them let them know
Okay, okay. No, no. This is I'll tell you what I did here. This okay, this is just I just want to write something out. It's not a code. I'm not writing a code. I'm just commenting code comments in Python. For example, we don't worry, we'll get there. We'll also get there. We're done. Yeah, she's online. Let me see. Yeah, it does not mean it's just because you've not assigned
Okay.
Yeah. information to the variable.
Okay.
Because you've not assigned it to the variable. Your PC is still there. Right. I just know you use your name. Nice. Nice. So you successfully know how to attach names, which is strings, text, and then integer value. Okay. Now, what you just did just now, if okay, we said name, uh, right? Sound correct. Okay. What else? Name, score. Okay. You said 19. Then what else again? Wait. grade. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. No, we can still do this. We can put everything in one sphere, in one. All right, I'll take it. Okay. This is going to print sequence like in the same row. But this is not what we want to do, though. I'm just showing different ways. Okay, so yeah, it's going to. You also remember that we did something um the last time. Yeah, space them. I don't know if you remember. You remember what we did? All right. We did this and we did this. Um, yes, probably this not work. The reason why this is not going to work is one, this is not going to work. This is only going to work with this if we have something like this. Okay, we are saying name, for example. This is going to work with this. Sorry, plus. Okay, this is going to work with this. Now, the only way this probably might work is okay. This probably might work. All right. Um, it might not work though. Well, let's leave that for now though. Okay. Yes. Going back to this. Okay. Code name. Code print score and code grade. Okay, we're going to push things a little further. Yeah, and very put this out now. We want to push things a little further by asking. Okay, we don't just want to give and okay, we don't want to assign anything to this right now. We don't want to assign anything to it. We want to um give it, then we want it to print it out for us. Yesterday, remember we were talking about inputs and outputs. Okay, now we want to start dealing with inputs right now. Okay, because we talked about strings, we talked about integers already. Okay, we want to advance things a little bit. Okay, now what we are going to simply be doing, we are going to ask for name of the students and score of the students and also the course the student is actually taking. Okay, now how do we, sorry, how do we do this? Now, inputs is the function. If okay, now if we read this carefully, the prompt strings, if given, is printed to standard output without a trading. Well, that's grammar sharp. Now, this is a function. Input is a function for asking, okay, for taking in. Okay. Now, when you already know what's an input now, input means you are taking in something. Output means okay. Now, in Python does not have output as a function. It only for output it has print. So that it uses the print to print out whatever I want to do. So, but it takes um, inputs. Now we don't just use inputs like that. We assign an input to a variable. You understand? So we can't just say um, inputs whoever wants it to impute or anything you want it to impute. No, you assign a variable to it. So now we get to call that variable again later. That's what Python sees. Okay, so it's the variable Python gets to see that we've attached that. Okay, we've attached an input to a variable. And so, for example, now we want to ask for the name of a person. Yeah, so we're going to assign inputs to this variable. We're going to say inputs enter the name of a student in your class. Okay. So you can actually start typing if you want to share. Share give the trick. Eh, okay. You have to think about like your keyboard for a long period of time. Like just do you already know how your keyboard looks, have you? Okay, think about it for the next 1 month. Yeah, for the next 1 month. Your head, your brain will get used to it. That's just it, yeah. You just think about your hand actually pressing. You don't even need mouse breaking. You don't even need mouse breaking. That's why I did, yeah. And that's how I learned. But I've been doing this for a very long time, so that's why it's used to me. Okay, so now I'm just going to call the name. Okay, I'm going to call the name. It's going to ask. Now you can see enter the name of the students. Now we can't call input here. That's why we are not doing that. I don't know. We can't call input here. Okay, it's not going to see it as. Let me close this. Yes. Oh wow. Enter the name of students. Okay. Now I'm coming. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So what's happening here? Now, what's happening? The program is running sequence in a sequential form. Okay, it's going to start from the top. It's going to we already know that these are an input. This is a function. So it's going to start from here. We've already we are already using this, you understand, to call something already. We are already calling here. So whatever this one gives to us, it's going to save to this variable that we talked about. Then now we are not calling the variable. Okay, give us that same answer you give to this guy. I don't know if you understand. So that's what simply that's what we're just doing. So we're just going to call this. I will say Etinosa. And since it's already been saved there, it's just going to give that it's going to give that out, you understand? So it's quite easy, very quite simple. Now we're also going to score store score into we're going to just call inputs. I'm going to say enter the score of a student in your class. Okay. We're going to print score. All right, nice. Now, mind you, it's not going to start from here. We already have a function here, so it's going to start from this function. So it's just going to start from the top and it's going to go down. Okay. So we have 79, that's called. They say Exynosa. So now we can also like push things further by saying print, okay, f string, thank you. What was that? Oh, serious. Nice. Okay. So we're just going to say name. Okay. For your time. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, there's no space here. That's why this is joined together. There's no space to doing space already. I was just going to sequence in a sequence form, you understand, because it scripts. So it runs the first script, goes to the second one. So if it sees any function, you get that's what it's going to implement. You understand? Okay, good. So we're going to do more examples from imputing, you guys, because when we are also building our chatbots, we're also going to be using more of imputes and prints sometimes. Okay, when we are building our chatbots, we're going to create chatbot for um maybe restaurants, chatbot for platform, social platform to ask for information and stuff like that. Yeah, still going to use inputs to build all of those. Can also build a chatbot for Telegram channel, you get, before we start advancing to AI. Because most of those chatbots is the same structure, not really structure though, but the same way they think. You understand? Just that AI is quite advanced. AI is an advanced algorithm model. Okay, so yes. So now we're going to let me know if this is clear enough. Okay. Um, we're going to you're going to do two classwork. Okay. Yes, with inputs. Okay. uh, Oh, sorry. Oh, oh, this is the one we did yesterday, right? Very nice. So we're going to write a program. Yes. This is a program now. I don't know. This is a program. Going to write a program that asks, asks for your favorites. How do you spell favorites? Favorite food, hobbies. Yes, TV show. Okay. All right. Okay. This is classwork.
Are we going to
Okay. Okay, what space are you looking for? This one.
actually digest
This is easy. Like there's no space between your semicolon and yeah, that was right.
that little bit that
Okay,
so
too.
that it will
I think I understand. All right, nice. Okay. Good, good, good. Very nice, nice, nice. You can save that. You are saving and creating new files, are we? Or you are doing that in the same file? Are you doing that in the same file? Creating new files. Very nice. Okay. Now with what we've done right now is taking input for strings. You're also taking input for integers. It not really because we cannot really do like score and add okay inputs, call inputs, and just say a number. Say a number. Can actually do this. Okay. Now it's actually printing as number. Okay, but Python is not treating this as a number right now. It's not treating it as an integer, treating it as a string. Until we get to tell it what to do. So sometimes when we get this error, it's when maybe when we're doing something like adding an extra code to this score, or we want to calculate for something. That's when we get an error. Okay, that's when you know that oh, this is actually not Python is actually not treating this as a number, it's treating it as a string. Okay, so now how do we make Python see this as a number? We add what we call a type. Called types in Python, and there are different types. We have int, we have string. Okay, so all of these that we'll talk about. So we force Python, sorry, force Python to give this to us as an integer, as a number, not a string. So what we do, we say score equals int, yes, int, which means integer. The full spelling is yeah, integer. I think it's integer value, integer value. Yeah, I think that should be integer. So just refer to it as int. Now, this int is a function. Now, every function has what we call this um this should be square brackets now. No, this is not a square bracket. This is color brackets or code brackets, I think so. Yeah. But in programming, it's called code brackets or color brackets, but it's bracket though. So every function has this. Okay, now watch this. If we are removing this, for example, we say int equals this. This is no longer a variable. So this is no longer a function anymore. This becomes more like a variable, but we need to treat this as a function the way it is already. Now this function it's carrying an argument. The argument it's carrying is this function again, which is input. I'm removing this from inside. Okay, now we're saying score. We are storing whatever we are doing here inside score because score is the main variable. We get to call score later and calculate whatever it's inside. Okay, so now we want to call on that variable, sorry, on that function again, which is input. Input now has a bracket too, okay, because it's a function. Now, what we're simply doing, we're forcing it to we're forcing it to do what? Forcing to give us the answer in sorry, forcing it to give us the answer in number, not a string. Okay. Now it's still going to give us the answer like this, 30, but at that time, Python is actually treating it as a number, giving us as a number, not a string. Or okay. Exactly. Now Python actually sees this as okay. So what we can now do? How do we know? Let's see. Okay, we're still going to basically do the same thing. Exactly. Okay. Now Python actually sees this as a number now, not a string anymore. Um, let's do the same thing. Do you know why that happened? Check very well. Well, are you sure you can actually see this? Can you see that? Wow. Can see it better. Okay. Monochrome. Monochrome. Medicated. Wow. So do you know why this happened? Why if you watch, this was 78 before, the score 78. Now it asks for a number again, and finally it printed 34 instead of, yeah, why? No,
I'm asking for things.
no,
If we then, command was to print when one student was so
yes, but why did he print this one last? Why did he print the information we give to this one last? Why? It is the why I want to get. Okay, okay, don't worry, I'll tell you. Remember that this is a variable, and we said that variable are short-lived. They don't have a longer memory. Okay, not like um your hard drive. No, in your system right now we have the RAM and we have the ROM. Okay, the RAM is considered as a temporary memory. You can say 8 gig RAM, 4 gig RAM. Those ones they also save information, but they are not long-lived. They have short memory. Exactly. Now we also have what we call the ROM, which also save information in long term. It's long. Yeah, like that's a forever lifespan kind of stuff. You understand? And same thing as variable. Variable has a short memory span. First of all, we have to score here. We ask for the student score, students wherever at that time. He printed it out and told you that, oh, this one, this is the same, this is the score you gave to me. Now, wherever we saved to it again, that's what it prints out. It will not print the format in there because it's a short memory.
this one, you just have score, you printed to score, but now if you direct it with our.
No, even if I do the same thing here, let's do the same thing. You see, even if I do the same thing here, it's still going to be the same thing. The reason we are printing it is printing this one now becomes the new information, not this one anymore, because it has low span memory. So if I assign anything to, let's start again. It's going to print this one. It's not going to print this one because this one now, this one has already left that memory. It's now saving this one as the current one. So if I'm saving an information to a variable, that variable has a short memory span, except it's coming from maybe an external storage where it has been saved properly. You understand? But if it doesn't be saved anywhere, this one becomes this one becomes the new answer is going to give to you, the new information is going to give to you. Except maybe, for example, we've already said that okay, score should be 47. So wherever anytime we call that score, it's going to give us 47. Sorry, going to give us 47. Yeah, but right now we are not storing any information to score. We are just saying, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I am giving to you. This is what I'm giving to the variable. Give it to me back. Yeah, so it's going to print that stuff that you're giving to it back. The same thing. No, if okay, same thing goes with name. You can also try for name. Okay, you can say new name equals inputs. That's a new name. Okay, let's call this old name. new score. New score. Good score. New score. Good score. So we understand better. Okay. New name. Okay, even if we're just let's say good name. Good name. Uh old score. We already know what the answer will be. Are you sure? Okay. Let's see. What do you think the answer will be? Will it print? Will it give us the old name and the old score, or you think it's going to give us the new name and the new score? Are you sure? No, think properly. Think very well. Look at it very well. Thank you. Exactly. No, old score and old name. Yeah, old name. It's not going to print because now these variables, they are all different variables, except we are calling same variable, same thing. We are storing. So if we are saying score, wherever we did into this one before will not be there anymore. It's going to be something new. So that's why I did this. So let's try. Enter the new. This is a new name. Okay. Uh, nanobots. 2012. So what is the difference? Exactly. Printed the old names. We printed the old name and the old. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's going to do because this variable, they are all different variables, except maybe here we can now say okay, new, new. Then it's going to do that. But we can also say um new name equals old name. We can also do this. Sorry, uh new name equals old name. Sorry, equals old name. Do you know what it's going to do here? Watch this. We can call this. I think this is becoming very interesting. Honestly. Do you know what it's going to do? Now, see what we did. We said we're asking it, give us a old name, give us a new name, give us old score, give us a new score. Now, print the old name, print the old score. Okay, good. Now, we're not saying, okay, new name now equals old name. That means wherever this old name is before, it's going to be the new name. So if for example I comment this out, okay, no, let me not comment that out because we already called the variable already. So okay, let's run our code so you see what I'm talking about. Kevin is going to ask for the new name, right? John. Score is 12 and 14 number. What did he do? You've done well, Kevin. Okay. New name equals old name. Now it's printing John, it's printing Kevin, which is the old name. But it's not supposed to. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. This line, we can treat this line as it was not there. Okay. We can treat this line as we'll just comment it out. All right. We're going to comment this out. Okay. Ash, yes, to comment. Maybe for example, where comments are good, maybe you want to Ash, exactly. You want to say, okay, this code is for doing this. Okay, it's just for you to label something to help you remember as a programmer. So we do that most of the time. You understand? So when we start doing advanced code, we will be adding more comments. So you see more comments in our code to instruct us on what to do. Okay, so now this one is not supposed to be there. I commented it out. Okay, so we are just going to call the new name. That's what we are going to do because we are now saving the old name to this new name. We are not going to ask for a new name anymore. We're just going to say, okay, new name. We are going to say Kevin. Kevin. 4, 12, 14. Exactly. Now, this is not the new name of this guy, Kevin. Exactly. So our logic is actually correct. So if we, for example, we change, we now say old name equals new name. Maybe we are assigning this one to this. Let's try that out. For example, see you see what I'm talking about. Okay, so now see what we want to do now. Quite tricky, but we're going to do it anyway. We are going to say old name equals new name. Let's see what happens. We are going to ask for this. I'm going to ask for this. We're going to remove this. I'm going to probably remove this. We want to see what we want to see is if the variable is actually storing short term or long term. That's the whole essence of all this. Okay. We are still dealing with inputs. Okay, inputs, types, and strings. We are just seeing different method of how this actually works. So it sticks here to our brain. Okay, now what we are doing, we are saying new name, enter your old name, enter your old student's name, enter the new name. Okay. Let's see what happens. We are going to print old name. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, go on. Go on. Yes. So you understand now. So these are we know that variables are actually short-lived. Okay, they actually short-lived. They don't stay long term. you can see from here what we just did now. It's quite easy. It's quite simple. That whatever we saved yet before has wiped out. It's cleared already. Now we are not saying, okay, old name is not equals to new name, which is Osaon. So it's going to tell you that, oh, you done well, Osaon. It's not going to print Etinosa anymore. If you watch, what what did we call old name before? Old name was Etinosa. Okay. And we said new name is what? Osaon. Exactly. Now we printed Osaon. Okay, there's no need to be even printed anymore. So let me remove that. Remove that. So we are not saying, okay, now this old name is equals to new name, not this old name anymore. So whatever we called new name now becomes the new name of this old person. That's fair enough, right? So that's how we know that variables are short-lived. They don't stay long-term, except we've already stored that information somewhere. Like we've defined it somewhere. You can say old name equals Tinosa. You understand? You can say, yeah, this is what we can actually do. Then, if we get to define it somewhere, there's no amount of change we are going to do. It's not going to be short-lived. It's going to be there. So anytime we call old name, we're going to pop Etinosa again. So
Hey,
I think this is going to be our last example for today. Then I'm going to give you an assignment. No, 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 I did not. Sorry. Okay. You can see it, Abby. The comment down. You seem to okay. We are still. Are you done? All right. Okay. I think that'll be all for today. Peace. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
All right. Good evening. We done for today. Okay,
All right.
so tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is going to be visual, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be visual.